Alright guys, so Fula coming at you with another video. Shout outs to the whole LGBTC. Now, kind of want to talk about Joe Budden's comments that were recently made about Carnival and why he just needs to stay in his lane in regards to those comments. So, Joe Budden said something like, these females can't wait to be dressed in these itty-bitty, skimpy outfits and be hoes at Carnival. And I was like, that's odd, coming from him. I mean, let's look at his track record. I mean, most of his baby moms were loose, were Instagram hoes. I mean, I think there was some domestic scandal among him as well. So, wow, I was surprised that he was even talking. I was like, that's really weird of him to actually speak about Carnival out of all things when, you know, the women, or I should say the caliber of women he's been with have been not so high caliber, you know, and we've seen this repeated itself on Love and Hip Hop. So what I have to say about that is that, you know, he needs to make sure his own shit don't stink before he talking about someone else's shit, you know? So, with that being said, my opinion of the whole situation is that, and this is coming from someone who's been to Carnival a couple of times. Carnival is steeped in African traditional practices. And, you know, unfortunately, I'm going to just call it spade a spade. We kind of wanted to imitate the European kind of vibe of a masquerade ball. So that's why you see these kind of elaborate outfits. Now, in Carnival, yes, there is, I want to say, risque outfits, men and women alike. I also want to say that there is drinking, there is, you know, some promiscuity, but the whole Carnival is steeped in traditional practices. And that's not what Carnival is about. It's a big old orgy. You know, women who wear those outfits don't go there to be hoes. You know, they don't do that. You know, that's not the point of Carnival. It's for women to just dance around and look skimpy and do that. You know, there's actually cultural heritage involved in Carnival, you know. And so, at the same token, I want to say it takes two to tango. You know, us guys, you know, guys wear outfits at Carnival too. I mean, and they look like, you know, they're risque too. So, at the end of the day, our minds have been so diluted by rape culture and by, you know, lust and desires that things like this come out of our mouths. You know, and again, it comes back to knowing your limits and controlling yourself. That's what it really comes down to at the end of the day. You know, and if you can't do that, then you shouldn't be going to Carnival anyway. If you gonna look at a woman as a lustful object in Carnival, then you shouldn't be there. Vice versa. If you're a woman and you look at a man in a lustful way at Carnival, then don't go. Because the original intention is to have fun, to let loose, and just relax. You know, that's the original intention of Carnival. So for Joe Budden to say that, like, he needs to know his place, really. You know, so I'm like, really, Joe? Like, you surely want to speak, and we see what your baby mamas are about, and we see what you're about, dude. It's like, like you want to speak, you know? Like, I was like surprised. I'm like, really, dude? And I'm not gonna front, man. I used to mess with Joe Budden's music. Like his first album, that Pump It Up song, I used to bump that. That song Fire, I used to bump that. That song, especially the remix with, I think they have Fabulous and Paul Kane on it. I used to rock out to that. You know? But this goes back to how far our minds have been diluted. Now, I'm not, how should I put it? I'm not condoning lewdness at all, okay? I'm not gonna condone it, right? But what I will say is that women and men in traditional African society didn't have a problem with skin because there wasn't a rape culture. There wasn't a sexual perversion, right? And when a man did have these ideas and thoughts, you know, he was usually pulled to the side and he was usually checked and usually put back in order to make sure that this didn't happen and this wasn't practiced, you know. But, you know, nowadays, a man cannot really even, like, be around a woman in a bathing suit without having ideas about, like, about, you know, So, you know, the previous generation, they were, how should I say it? They were more restrained and controlled and more morally upright than this generation, due to the simple fact that the new ideas that we see weren't introduced to them. There was no, like, promiscuity. There was no prostitution. There was no, like, lewdness. You know what I mean? And that's just the way it is, you know. But at the end of the day, Joe Budden knocking someone's custom is, like, really, like, not cool, and it's uncalled for. And, you know, and I'm not trying to be mean, and I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for this, but that's the reason why we have some of the disconnect among the different groups of African descended people, be it continental African, be it an Afro-Latin, be it an Afro-Caribbean, or be it an African descended person who was born in the North America area, you know. So that's the reason why we have some of the disconnect we have, is because across the board, some of us are not open to learning and accepting cultural practices that may not be familiar to them. You know, me, I go all in Carnival, you know. Shoot, I'm not going to show any pictures of me when I went to Carnival in the countries I've been to it, but a nigga did wear the outfit. You know, a nigga said, well, I'm in this country, I have to soak up the culture, might as well wear an outfit. You know what I mean? A nigga did that to the fullest extent. So, with that being said, Joe Budden just needs to chill out, you know, and maybe read a book and learn, you know, the history of Carnival instead of like talking slick about something that he has little knowledge about. But, you know, I just wanted to make a short video about that. And again, like, who are you to talk when your women are not, your women have a long rap sheet as well. And we've seen this rap sheet unfold on Love and Hip Hop, you know. So, you know, that's all I got, man. Leave your thoughts and leave your comments. Let me know what you think about him saying that Carnival is a chance for women to be hoes and this, that, and the other. And me personally, you know, I can only speak for me, but I just admire the women from afar, you know. And if they're feeling my ghost, hey, we see what happens. But if not, man, I admire them from afar. I'm not a simp or anything like that, but I just like women, man. I just like African descended women, and I know how to admire them while still not being a pushy, thirsty ass nigga. That's all I'm gonna say. Leave your thoughts, leave your comments, let me know what you think. Let me know if you think Joe Budden was out of line, or let me know if you think he have a point. I'm off till the next one, guys. On Jarama.